Hello everyone and welcome back to a very exciting episode that we have today. I think that this guest speaker, one, is probably one of the most highly underestimated people in our life.
Absolutely.
And two, we've both wanted to work this episode so many times and it's just, we've all just been like, yeah, we'll get to it, we'll get to it. But it's like this third person, like this guest today, has more to do with our podcast than I think we do.
Literally.
So, Shaye, would you like to take it away?
Yes, and let's
introduce.
just clarify real quick. There is two Shays in the room right now. We're going to have to be mindful of who we're calling who, but please welcome Shaye or S Madison.
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Oh, no,
Girl.
Thank you for looking after our whole life.
Yeah, literally.
So just to clarify, our two names, we've got Shane and we've got Shanae. We both go by Shaye. Shaye, do you go by Shaye just because it's easier?
Yeah, I've gone by Shaye since I think grade 7 or 8.
Yeah.
I think it was grade 8 when I went to high school. That's when I started getting, my name on the roll was changed to Shaye.
Shaye.
Oh, wow.
I just preferred being called Shaye, and now I've been called Shaye ever since.
Little side backtrack. Shaye and I went to primary school together and all of high school together. We started in what, grade 5?
Grade 5, yes.
Grade
6.
Yeah. So you were Shane to me back then. I would have just gone by Shanae, and now we're both like, no, we're Shaye.
Yeah.
We are the same person.
Yeah. So Helena's like, we'll be in the room, and Helena's like, hey, Shaye. And we're like, yeah. Who?
But then if I'm trying to directly talk to one of you, I have to hold eye contact with that person and not break it to look at the other person, because then they're like, what?
And it'd be so weird if you either called me or Shaye, Shane or Shanae.
I don't think I've
Shays.
ever called you Shanae.
No.
And
weird.
I've never called you Shane.
Yeah,
So
crazy.
weird.
But now I call you Shaye. I'm like, it's weird to call you Shanae now. It's Shaye to me.
Yeah.
We're all Shays. But you actually also go by S Madison.
Yes,
So-
S Madison. So Madison is actually my middle name.
Yes.
So that's where I get S Madison from. So I thought, why not make it a bit more personal? And I actually started with S Madison Media and Designs, and then I turned to Shaye one day and I said, what do you think of S Madison Creative? And she said, yep, that's
Done.
it. So
Love that.
stuck with it ever since. I have been thinking of rebranding, but us graphic
finding the
designers
time.
put our own work on the back end. So that's, finding time, as Shaye said. So hopefully at the end of this year, I'll be able to do that. I'm not sure if I'll be changing names,
Okay.
but we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Exciting. Okay, well, Shaye, introduce yourself. You obviously just said a little bit of a sprinkle of graphic design, but tell everyone who you are and how amazing you are.
Oh, thanks. I have been, my name's Shaye. I've been in the graphic design industry for 9 years now. I initially had a passion for the beauty industry. So I started working for another beauty salon. I landed that job because I seen a traineeship offer at school. It was a business traineeship. So you're going to get a business certificate at the end of it. Followed through with that, got the job, and I was initially wanting to do beauty, but then I was told to get onto the socials and do the graphics for this company. So when I started doing all the socials for them, I really just found my passion in design and just thought, this is where I want to go. I did get a bit of an insight into the beauty world of, it's not all sunshines and rainbows as everyone thinks it
As
is.
you see with us.
Yeah.
But you used to deal with a lot of clients, right?
Yeah, I
You were the
deal with a
front-
lot of
yeah.
clients.
Yeah.
Yeah. Building those relationships with clients as well. Like they used to say, they wouldn't go there if they didn't have me at the door, welcoming them. We were down at a small salon in Robina, and then we moved to Bundle, and we ended up booking out 5 lash therapists 3 weeks in advance. So going from just 2 therapists, we were when lash extensions were quite
popping.
new. Yeah. And then just started popping, we were charging $60 for a set of lashes, and then by the end of it we were charging $110 for a natural set. So I grew that company from being nothing to
Where it
one of
was,
the most recognized companies on the Gold Coast.
Wow.
Love.
Yeah. So it seems like it's a really nice balance because you started in the beauty, you went into the graphic world, but you've really kind of floated in between mostly graphics for beauty salons, right?
Yeah, beauty.
Obviously others, but you're very much in the beauty world for graphic.
Definitely has been my niche, the beauty industry.
Do you like that?
I love the beauty industry, especially because I did have the passion, and I actually did a retail makeup and skincare course in 2014. So that's kind of where my passion for the beauty industry stemmed. I was ideally wanting to do makeup or be a beautician or something like that. But yeah, as I said, I just couldn't go past my passion for design.
So obviously that was kind of like your background. So in regards to you were kind of given these socials through this business, did you then go forth and study graphic design, or how did that kind of flow into it?
I did study graphic design online. I thought, I do want to have some sort of degree or something or behind me. So I ended up doing a diploma of graphic design online and completed that diploma in 2015. I'm pretty sure it was. And just started pretty much have been self-taught from there on as well. Just wanted to get that little bit of education behind me, but I'm always looking out for courses as well to improve. But with the 9 years experience, I'm still learning to this day. Like, you can never stop learning.
Oh, well, girl, take the words out of our mouth. We couldn't agree more. And you know that's what we say. And it's nice to know that that is actually something that it's not just within our industry. I feel like it's in every industry in life. Like, you just don't stop learning. Knowledge is absolutely everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Bella Beauty is an Australian one-stop shop for all your brow and lash needs. We have recently just brought out the Favourites collection with Bella Beauty, which includes Helena's and my favorite brush sets. Bella Beauty ships worldwide and their turnaround is incredibly fast. Now, you guys know Bella Beauty has been with us since the very beginning, so are you ready? You have your products lined up, you're in your checkout carts, and you need to enter in the details, capital BFNS4. That is BFNS4 in all capitals, and this will get you a cheeky discount code off all products. You guys need to make sure that you keep a real close eye out for Bella Beauty as they are introducing their whole new range, and every month they are bringing out incredible brands, making sure that us brow and lash artists are working with only the best. Thank you, Bella Beauty, for sponsoring our podcast once again. And if you wanted a little reminder, BFNS4 for a discount code when you check out. Well, okay, so Shaye, being in the world of tech, design, all that stuff, what is it like? Like, all I see is a lot of hours sitting at a computer, dealing with a lot of probably like default shit and like probably pulling your hair out. Is it like that? Like, what is it like?
It can be very, very challenging at days. Sometimes, you just want to walk away and say, not today.
Yeah.
I'll come
Slam
back.
the laptop.
Sometimes, yeah. And sometimes you just need to do that. Having to rely on, a computer every single day and making sure that, everything's going to run smoothly, and allowing that time that if something does go wrong, you do have that time to, fix it if anything needs to be fixed. But unfortunately, at the end of the day, when things don't go right, it can be a bit disheartening because, I'm the one at fault. I wouldn't say it's always at fault, but I am always getting, I guess, it's at my expense. So I'm having to deal with it. So my time, like, I've got to make sure I'm aware of how much time I'm spending on things. And if I am just spending way too much time and then I do have that technical error come up, I've got to be mindful of that. So I do have, backups and everything. So that's one thing, is I've got to make sure I have my backups.
You know what? I'm just thinking, like, I am so like flustered and overwhelmed when like my FPOS system is having a moment, or like Timely is having a moment or something. And I can't imagine like how it would feel to have to literally rely on that because technology is so unpredictable.
Exactly.
And like, I remember when we were creating my masterclass and it was like, there was one thing that went wrong and I was like, it's the end of the world. And then Shaye was like, no, like, it's okay. Like, I've got this. And I'm like, how does your brain think of that?
Yeah. Have you ever had something just crash and you've like someone's video or like something
logo
major
or something and you've lost it
and you could never get it back?
I have had projects where I have lost, so I've just been working on them, and my computer should save every 15 minutes or I've set it to 5 minutes now, every 5 minutes, because I can get a lot done in 5 minutes. And I've just had it just crash. It has happened as well with videos as well, with Premiere just, she ain't having it.
You're an absolute whiz though. Like you just said, in 5 minutes you can do a lot. Shaye sits with me every Thursday and you'll do some work for the Naked Brow. She sits on my front computer and I'm like, oh, I just need this done, please. She's like, oh yeah. And I watch her just whiz and I'm like, how the fuck did you just do that? You are so speedy and so creative. And I'm like, how the hell did you just come up with that? Wow. And I'm like, I thought we were creative. And then I see what you do with graphics and I'm like, that was incredible. Level. Like, and so speedy.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. No, I think that's one of the most enjoyable parts about my job is, I love being creative. And when I do get to come here and work, like, it's just such an honor and such a blessing because I am so passionate about what I do. And that's what makes my job, I wouldn't say easy, but when I am so passionate and feeling creative and get to do what I love every single day, it makes a world of a difference because, you're doing what you love every day and I'm just excited to go to work every single morning. Yeah. And coming to this salon is such, like, I absolutely adore it. Yeah.
I love it.
I get to come here. Yeah.
So she can come to your salon.
I know.
Anyways, that brings us into the next thing that we kind of wanted to discuss because we both kind of planted the seed then of you've done some work for myself individually and then you work for the Naked Brow as well.
Yes.
So what is your relation to then our podcast that we have together? Do you
want
to tell everyone how you are literally the backbone to us?
So, yes, I am the brand and podcast social media manager for the Barefaced and Naked podcast. I have been doing it with you guys since the very beginning. I remember the day.
It was a question, hey.
We're like, hey, we're doing this.
Yeah.
You're in.
I remember going to a local cafe and sitting down with you. And I think it was one of the first. Had I met you before then, Helena? Or did we do your masterclass before then?
I don't think so, actually. I think the podcast was first.
Yeah.
Masterclass is only not even a year old yet.
Wow. Yeah. So I think that was one of the first times we sat down together. And I remember from that day on, I've been on board and it's been such a crazy, amazing journey. And I'm so grateful to be alongside such an incredible, inspiring woman.
Girl. I just literally ate my microphone.
I saw you.
Girl.
So tell everyone what the kind of
What
does a day look like for you working on Barefaced and Naked?
Depends if I'm doing graphics or socials or graphics or the video. Mm-hmm. So usually if I have an episode to edit, I will usually do that on about a Thursday or a Friday, and I'll just spend the whole day editing. It usually takes me about 30-minute episodes could take up to 4 to 6 hours.
Holy fuck.
How do you listen to our voices for that long?
Oh
you
my
guys,
God.
honestly, it is so funny watching you guys and listening. Like, I'm so lucky that I get to see the raw everything
and the
behind the scenes, like you guys.
That you get. Like, I know there's some bloopers that are never going to make it to the air because I'm like,
you're like, no.
And we literally will look into our camera and be like, Shaye, no, delete this.
Abort.
Get off the hard drive. Get rid of it right now. And like, we will literally say like voice notes to you through here. Like, hey, Shaye, can you just cut out the last 15 minutes? That'd be great. Bye.
Usually you guys are just like talking.
We do just flow.
Like, you guys just flow. And
sometimes
it's like,
we have bad days though. We haven't got
some
bad
days. There's just days like this where it just doesn't want to work for you.
Today's technical issues. I'm like, oh, guys.
Anyways, we're interrupting you again.
Yeah, no.
So we're editing for 4 to 6 hours. That's wild.
But yeah, so usually I will edit and then I will create all the, like, we'll get together topics that are covered and then we'll create social graphics from there. And then I'll get in touch with you girls, see if there's any highlights that you want from this week's episode, create some reels. And then I go ahead and plan on social media, write up all the captions and get that all scheduled and organized. And we also have our meetings that we have every month or so. So I really enjoy those meetings and just sitting down together and discussing, what we have achieved in the past month and what we can achieve for the next month and our goals and getting on top of everything.
You are our like podcast mum though, because you'll message us and be like, all right guys, great episode, but here's how we need to do this. We can make this improve. And we're like, yes, boss. Like, thank you.
You know what's so funny? I feel like everyone might have like this vision of us being like professional with like emails and stuff. And it's like, we have a Facebook group chat. It's called potty.
If you're getting an email from Barefaced and Naked, it is normally Shaye, you writing it to an incredible standard, and we're like, how'd she do that?
Like that. Wow, we sound so professional in that email. Signed off from Barefaced Naked team.
There was a question actually that came in our little box, and I thought, let's let you answer it, being our podcast manager.
Yes.
Someone said, how do we make money on this podcast? And obviously, it's not all about money, but we do. I feel
like I get asked that a lot in like when people ask me like, I'm like, I have a podcast.
Because sometimes podcasting is like someone's full job, right?
Yeah.
So do you want to answer?
Yeah, of
that
course.
for us?
Yeah, definitely. So we usually encourage people to reach out to the girls to see if they want to collaborate and work with the girls and come along as a sponsor for the season. So we've been very lucky to have incredible sponsors from all around the world support the girls, which is very, very helpful. But that is the main source of income for the girls, really. So personally, we don't want to be putting out those ads that are pre-recorded from someone else and constantly having ads for you guys. So we do want to keep it free, and we also we always like to keep our advertisements organic, so they are from our podcast sponsors, and that's it. So
and it's niched, right? Like we don't bring on like, I don't know, Allen's Lollies or something, but like it's niche.
I mean, I'd love to do that. I love some Allen's, but I think like
next time you're eating a pack of
Allen's, we'll be like, anyways, this podcast is proudly sponsored by. I think though, like a lot of people, I feel like may think that we actually profit from this.
Yes.
We don't. We do not profit from the podcast whatsoever. It is purely just to be here and we get paid from our sponsors, and then that money basically pays for things for the podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
So
if you are looking to stock your salon with some amazing and well-respected lash and brow products, you need to look no further than Lash Rescue. Since 2020, Lash Rescue has been saving lashes and brows with their signature serums, oils, and mascaras that are stocked worldwide and available for wholesale. Rosie, Lottie, and Abby are Lash Rescue's powerful growth serums made to revitalize, thicken, and restore moisture to both lashes and brows. These products are stocked in both Helena and I's salons, and they are an absolute game changer. Clients come in, they're looking for a new brow and lash serum, and they leave with Lash Rescue. The results and feedback that we have in regards to these products are just unbelievable. They are safe for the eyes and lashes. You get amazing results without any irritations, and their packaging is absolutely to die for. Whether you like to buy in bulk or you just like to grab 10 at a time, wholesaling is a great option if you are wanting to be stocking beautiful products that you can place in your salon. We would like to thank Lash Rescue for joining us for another season of the podcast. They can be found over at Bella Beauty, or head to their website, Lash Rescue, and you can find all the details on becoming a stockist.
So another question that Shaye and I have got that I'm curious to see how you answer, because you got to be honest. You can't lie.
Okay.
What is it like working with Shaye and I as a team and like for the podcast?
Go on, give us our like...
Because you have honestly been there from day dot and you've watched us grow and you know us personally as well. So...
do we have any flaws?
I'm actually a little bit...
Is this like a performance?
I'm a little bit scared. Is this an intervention? Who wrote these questions?
But what is it like?
What is it like working for a podcast? Like
working for you guys is honestly incredible. Like I do really, really love it. I absolutely love
she doesn't
working
look like
for you
she's
guys.
lying. So that's
I was thinking. And you know, I think it's also like how you guys are really easy to work with. You know, it's not like, it doesn't feel like a job, like, you know, like this is work. Like I really, really enjoy working with you guys, and you guys, as I said, are so inspiring, and getting to work alongside you two and see what you guys achieve is amazing. And I am grateful to be here working alongside you and part of the team. Like I wouldn't change it for the world.
Good, because you're not going anywhere. So you ain't leaving us, girl.
I used to hear a butt coming on.
Yeah.
But
sometimes you guys suck at replying.
I'm just bumming my message, and we're like, oh, fuck.
The bumps of the messages.
Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, Facebook has a new feature. We can bump messages.
Oh, God.
So like now I don't feel like as rude going, hey,
please refer to the message from 3 days ago. But do you reckon, in all honesty, that's definitely a downfall of Shaye and I?
Yes.
That's a downfall in my literal everyday life.
Literally.
Yeah.
How I maintain friends and shit, I don't actually know because I don't reply. But that is definitely something that we have both tried to work on is our communication.
Yes.
Because I think is one thing, as we had stated in a previous podcast, was like when we're burnt out, one thing we do is just put our phones down and just don't even look at it. And then
the business still needs to keep running though, right? And we're like, oh fuck.
I know. And I'll literally look at a message at 9 o'clock and be like, I fucking didn't reply to that. I'm like, no, I'm going to reply to it in the morning. And then I just don't. And it's just, yeah. But
sorry.
No,
please keep bumping.
Sorry, honestly,
please keep bumping.
I completely understand because, you know, being a graphic designer and working on the computer all day and then being on Instagram, doing socials and stuff, like I don't even really post on my personal anymore because I just want to put my phone down at the end of the day. Like, you know, I'm kind of over socials and looking at a screen.
Yeah,
so
of course.
It's not really a priority. So I get that, you know, when you're so busy and you just want to chill for the day, I understand that. So that's why I'm like, I get you guys are so busy, but
it's usually a, hey, lovelies, I understand. And we're like, I'm like, she mad. She mad at us. We fucked up here. Reply to her.
I think though, we have such faith and you could literally say we're doing this and we're like, okay,
literally.
Like we definitely just go with your flow.
That's it.
And I think that's where this balance works.
It's
so
trust as well though.
Yeah.
Like
So
we
much
trust you to represent us in a way on a platform that you don't kind of need our approval for things, which is something that you don't find in a lot of business partners.
Yeah.
So it is really nice that we have like that, like friendship as well as like professional relationship where we can trust you like that, which is so important. I think with anything, when anyone is hiring anyone within any industry, it's important to have that feeling and trust with someone.
That's it,
I have a question. So we speak a lot about the brow community and we really try and help bring the brow community, blah, 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 blah. It's quite niche.
Yes.
Do you find that the graphic design, social media branding community is there, or is it quite like everyone's on their own, quite competitive, quite harsh?
That's a good question because I only know S Madison.
Yeah, well, I know a few, and it's either like in my head you go to one or the other that I see people do. Okay. So yeah, what is your opinion on it?
Well, I have found since COVID kind of, you know, started, a lot of people kind of went in the mindset of what can I do from working from home that I don't really require a degree. But as I said, 9 years experience, I'm still learning to this day. Like so many things I'm learning to this day. So that was kind of, you know, a bit frustrating when people just come out saying, oh, they think it's easy, they're just gonna, you know, start this, but it's not. But I don't think the design industry is competitive or anything. I think everyone's out there just doing their own thing. I think when it's competitive is when you are first starting out. Maybe people kind of don't really have their own niche yet and they're kind of just following, oh, what's this big designer doing, or what are they doing that maybe I could follow. And I feel like the best thing to do is just stay in your own lane and to just do what you find that you are most passionate about and find your niche.
I feel like being original would be so, I guess, hard in a way, because I guess you do see logos very similar to like others like that look the same, but they're from different designers. So I guess it's like, do you feel as if there's like a copycat syndrome throughout the industry, or?
It can be really difficult. You know, you only have so much you can say as a designer, because when you have a client coming to you and saying, I want this, I want this, I want this, you can't really turn around and say no, like, oh yeah, I'll give you my advice and strategize what is best for your business and what I recommend. But 80% of the time they're like, I have a vision and this is it. Like, for example, the whole beige nude aesthetic, pretty much 80% of my clients come to me wanting that. And I'm always saying like, yeah, it's absolutely beautiful, but why? What's going to make you stand out? Who's going to tell you apart from every single person in the beauty industry that has those new color palettes?
And definitely have been done to death.
Yes, and I'll go through the colour theory with them and why it's so important we pick those right colours for them. And as I said, at the end of the day, it's all up to do with the client and what they choose. But yes, if I have worked with a client, for example, on a branding and I use a certain font, for example, I will not even consider using that font because I know that that's to that brand and that should be for that business. Yeah. The only reason why I will use it if it looks completely different, and it can, like the way your name is written and a font, it can look completely different to another brand. So that's the only time that I will really do that. But when I do see other businesses out there and I mean, their work looks quite repetitive, or they're using the same color palette or font, it really is, you know, just a bit frustrating because I spend so much time, you know, making sure that my client's business is unique and personalized to them. Mm-hmm. When you see things that just look so similar, it can be very frustrating.
For sure.
Well, let's slide away from the negatives about the industry and then maybe a positive. Yes. What do you find is the most rewarding part about a design process for a client? Like, what is it like? You're basically building their brand because the logo of a brand is the representation and the identification of a company, basically. So what do you feel as if is the most rewarding part about that?
I think the most rewarding part about it is bringing someone's dream business to life.
Absolutely.
I think that is definitely the most rewarding part, and being able to build that relationship and connection with every single one of my clients. Like, I've learned in the past that not everyone is going to be your cup of tea. Mm-hmm. You know, everyone is suitable for working. You've got to look out for those, I guess, red flag clients because...
What's a red flag client?
I'm like, oh, yeah, oh, red flag. I love a red flag.
I was actually listening to another graphic design podcast the other day and they were speaking about it. So I'll kind of just touch on what they said. I guess just things like looking out for people who don't, like you guys say, like, be friendly. You're not just going to say like, how much is a brow wax? You know, I like when people come to me and they tell me about their business. I want to learn what problem are we solving. You know, what can we do to fix all these issues that you're having in your business? And when people just message me and go, what's the price of a logo? It can be like,
what's the price of manners?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, absolutely. Just being blunt and rude. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Sure. And when I have a client who, you know, inquires and they don't even bother like looking at my inquiry form and stuff like that. And the main reason why I created a questionnaire is so I know that person is taking the time to actually write to me. They're not just like price shopping
sliding
type
in
of
the
thing.
DMs,
Yeah. You've just got to look out for those clients that just unfortunately just aren't worth it in the end, because you'll just end up going back and forth. But that's when you have to put things in place to make sure that your contract stands and you aren't having to deal with all of this back and forth, because as I said, it's not worth it in the long run.
Yeah, of course.
No, for sure. Is there things that you wish clients knew about the design process?
Maybe just how the process.
Tell us the process.
The process is like from start to finish. Obviously, you start from communicating, all the time that you spend communicating with that client before the project even starts. Mm-hmm. And then you've got to go in and start from, you know, scratch, and you've got to use your brain every single day and get creative. And when your brain's not, you know, functioning right, it's just best to just walk away and come back. Yeah. And I find that works the best, because when you're in the right space and right mind frame, you're just going to smash out the work. So usually with like a branding, it includes the whole lot. Like your logo is your foundation of your business. Yeah. And from that, you have to build, you know, your niche, your brand image, your
identity through the industry.
Yeah, your identity through the industry. You need to make sure that you have a niche that's going to make you stand out amongst everyone in your community.
Absolutely.
And
just that it's not easy. Like, it is literally your brain ticking over to be individual for someone else and original. Yeah. And you want to make sure everyone sticks out through the industry. But it's like, you can only do so much.
Exactly. Yes.
And like, I feel like, do you feel like it's very much so like the communication is so important between you and your client? Because if you don't have that communication with them, you can't read their mind. Yeah. Yes. So how are you meant to,
That's something I've learned along the way, is communication is key, because I would have, like, that's something I'll try and get from the very beginning, is getting that communication right, because most of the time I'll have clients come to me and they're like, wow, I don't know how you even done that just from like talking to me over email.
Yeah.
You know, most of the time I have clients that are amazing like that. And shout out to one client, Brooke, Skin by BN. She hands down, I could not fault her. She is just the most incredible client ever. She lives in Oklahoma.
Cool. So we're underneath Brooke. Shout out to Brooke, good girl. We obviously need you to contact us.
We need to learn from Brooke
about communication, please.
You know, she's just very understanding, and you know, when your client is understanding and knows that you are a human and you've got things going on in your life too, it makes such a difference with working with them, because you can just build that relationship, you know, and it's just really nice having someone who understands how difficult the design process is. And as you said, it's not easy. It's not simple at all. There's a lot to it. And you know, when people come and they think that our prices are so expensive,
you're investing. When you're paying for branding, that's an investment in yourself and your business.
Yeah.
So
I am a perfectionist. I will not send something out that I'm like, have a little bit of a
you are worth every dollar that you put on an invoice, Shaye. Oh my God.
But when I see, you know, I send out my prices, and sometimes I don't get the feedback that I want back, but I'm like, honestly, rejection is a redirection, and I want to, you know, attract those clients who really value me and who can see my worth. Yeah.
Rejection is a redirection.
Shit, I wish I could tell 20-year-old Helena that.
Yeah. Love it. Even just before, you were talking about pricing and stuff. Lately I've had clients come in and they're like asking about other clients, being like, you know, do you get some shitty clients or anything like that? And I can straight up say, well, no, I don't, because I attract the clientele that I want.
Yeah.
And my prices reflect my work. Having a $20 wax is going to be bringing in clientele that I probably don't want. Do you find that your prices reflect the type of clientele you want as well?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So one thing that I really want to get on top of is my social media, but my clients are my priority. I always put them before me. Like, I don't really need, like they say you need to be posted on socials, and yeah, you definitely need to be on socials, but I honestly don't need that work at the moment. I'm booked out until April.
I think girlfriend.
May. I'm booked out until May. Yes, I'm like, March. Yes. So I'm booked out until May, and yeah, as I said, like when I do something, I want to do it right, and I'm going to be the perfectionist that I am and get it out there right, because I want to make sure that I am attracting those high-end clients, you know, and at the moment I don't need to be putting myself out there as much as, you know, a lot of other people are, because I have that work and I don't really need to be encouraging that at the moment because I'm fully booked.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Well, 9 years in the industry, that's a long time to be within one industry.
One thing that I, you know, when people do come to me and ask for my prices, and they think we're graphics designers are so expensive, I kind of compare, like as Samara was saying the other day, like what you see value in, on the other podcast, what you see value in and what someone else sees value in is very different. Definitely. Like people will go out and spend $2,000, $3,000 on a designer handbag, but they will cringe at the fact of spending half of that or, you know, quarter of that on a branding investment, which is going to last you
so long.
Long. Like, you know.
Oh, that's so true. People will splurge and spend cash
on
whatever.
Yeah.
But they look at a price of a digital, the designer, and be like, too expensive.
Yeah, too expensive.
And then they go somewhere else, probably get it done cheaper, not done to the same quality, and then they probably come to you anyway.
Like that's just always where it comes down to, like, you get your money's worth with whatever.
That's right.
Whatever it is. If it's a shitty lipstick that's $2 over a $40 one, you get your money's worth.
Exactly. Like, I'm not going to go to the, you know, shopping center and get my brows done and expect naked brow or barefaced brows results.
Atta girl.
You just not gonna girl.
She's been taught well.
Yes, she has. She's been listening to the podcast.
And that's another thing, like when it comes to the design industry, like people will give you the feedback, like tell you how to do the design. And it's kind of like,
love that when a client tells you how to do your job.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's like, well, I wouldn't go in and say, hey, no, can you just wax this bar of my eyebrow? Or, you know, tell a brow artist or a chef, you know, who's in a restaurant say, sorry, actually, can you cook my meal like this?
Yeah.
You know, like I get like you want it a certain way, but I'm the one with the experience and you've hired me to do a job and I can't really do that if you're just going to micromanage and kind of tell me how to do it. I wish you would have just brought this idea to me in the beginning and then we could have gone from there. Yeah. Those are apparently the red flag clients.
Just a swing back.
One thing I want to ask you is, and I love asking people this question, you know, 9 years within your industry, that's nearly a decade.
Yeah.
First of all, that's nearly 10 damn years. Surely along the way, there is things that you've thought to yourself, if I did that differently from the start, this could have made this easier. So going back 9 years to little Shane.
Or even 5 years ago, you know, you've...
I want to know what your thing would be like from the very start. What is something that you would change, or your biggest piece of advice to someone starting out in this industry? Because as much as you say that we're inspirations, so are you.
Yeah.
And Shaye and I both value you so much, and your work ethic is insane.
Outstanding. Yeah.
Like I'm speechless. But what would you say? What would your best piece of advice be to someone?
Contracts. Get those contracts.
Good contracts.
We love a sign and seal deal.
Is one of the major things that I wish I brought into my business before even accepting any clients.
So you didn't have them at the start?
Didn't have them at the start.
Wow.
Like you did my first logo and we just sat down. I think we're just waiting for it. Like, I don't think even I signed anything for you.
No. So, and that's the thing that I'm like, when I work with friends, I'm like, oh, do we just skip the contract?
I'm like, have I signed anything?
No, you haven't.
Shaye, we need contracts.
So that is definitely one thing that I'm like, if you're going to start out in this industry, 100% get on top of those contracts, because that will protect you in the long run. And it just outlines what is included, what isn't included, because if someone thinks they're just going to be able to revive something as many times as they want, where really is our value? What are we getting from that if we're just constantly having to redo something? But having those things in place with your contract, it states that, look, we only have this amount of time together, and once that's done, it will be X, Y, and Z more.
I feel like a contract's a big boundary setting as well.
Yeah, definitely.
I know you've told me before you've seen and you've actually had to go back to a client's contract and be like, actually, hey, someone's like tried to re-edit what your final thing was. And you're like, hey, you actually can't do it. It's in your contract.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, you can't do that. Don't do that, guys.
I've had clients screenshot concepts that hasn't been the final concept and put it over graphics.
You're like, nah, sister.
The fuck?
I'll have clients who haven't contacted me. Like, this is one thing I highly recommend, is having a response deadline, because some clients will get back to me within 3 minutes, 3 hours, but some will take like 3 weeks. Like some clients,
and then they want a response straight away, right?
Yeah, and they want a response straight away. But if I haven't heard from you in so long, I've got all these clients that I'm now working with. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to deal with their deadlines, and then I'll book you in. And that's one thing I have stated in my contracts, that your project does have a termination date, and if you do not reply within this certain period, unfortunately your project will be terminated, because unfortunately I just can't hold that time for everyone. And that's one of the most challenging parts, is not knowing when someone's going to respond, because as I said, someone can take 3 hours or someone can take 3 weeks. It really is hard, and I'm not going to be like, get back to me now,
all I'm thinking is all the bumped messages in our group.
You guys, I'm like, get back to me.
You're literally like, reply, bitches, I'm talking to you.
So that is one of the challenging things, when people come back and they expect something, and I do have a responsibility that that they're to follow up. If I've been the last email communication, that it's on them to follow up, because I have all these clients.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I have all these clients that I'm dealing with. Unfortunately, I just don't have the time to be going
Sit
through
and
every
chase.
single person going, just following up. Yeah, so that makes my job a bit difficult, and why I've got to allow, that's why our prices are our prices, because I've got to allow for this, because if someone's expecting something that they paid for 3 months ago, where's that value for me? Where's that value for me? Yeah.
I think you answered that beautifully.
Cool. Yeah.
Get some contracts in there. She said.
Absolutely.
Yeah, get some contracts.
Well,
in
that's
there,
all
definitely.
that's everything on our list.
Easy. Well, okay. Future S Madison. Have you got an idea? Have you got any big goals, big plans? Anything you want to share?
I don't have any big goals or plans as of yet. I really am comfortable with what I'm doing at the moment.
That's so nice.
I have you know, gotten to the point where I could probably hire someone, but I just feel like at this point of time, I would be sort of micromanaging them and just not giving them what they deserve. I feel like I'm at that point where I'm like, have to have everything done right and up to my high standards.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
hiring someone is just like, I'll just be like, oh, are they doing it right?
Yeah.
You
Almost
know?
creating more work for yourself.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. That's what I've kind of said to people in the past. Like, I just feel like I would be creating a bit more work for myself.
Yeah.
Anyway. So maybe in the long run, I'll find
Who
someone.
knows?
But
Maybe.
I do have a goal of, me and Shaye have a goal of, working together full time in the long run with something. So hopefully that will happen.
I'll just snag her off everyone else. Sorry.
Yeah. I really, really like being with the beauty salon. I really enjoyed that, like family, community and business, like having the girls going to every day and then welcome me like every day.
Yeah.
Was really nice, and I really enjoyed building that friendship with the girls. So having a support like in the team like that, I think would be really, really nice.
You can definitely get lonely working by yourself.
Yeah, and exactly. It gets
crave
lonely
it.
working by yourself and just having that responsibility. Sometimes it would be nice to just, go to a job and then go home and just be able to go, okay, I can watch TV, but it's just not the case with me. Yeah, I just can't switch off, and I feel like that would be a long-term goal of me, is to work for a company or something eventually, but it might not be a design company. I think it would be more so like the graphic designer for a certain company.
Yeah.
Amazing.
How exciting. Shaye, thank you so much for jumping on and
out of your busy schedule.
Yeah, girl, we know you're busy, girl. So thank you so much for jumping on and coming and chatting, and I guess maybe opening people's eyes to the graphic design world, because everyone that is in this industry has had some point of contact with a graphic designer, I'm sure. Yeah. And
if they haven't, what are you doing?
If they haven't, what are you doing? You need to contact Shaye. She's not available till May, but that's fine.
Are you
taking on
clients?
Yes, I am taking on clients. So if you want to put in an application with me, you're more than welcome. I am actually going to offer 10% off for all Barefaced and Naked listeners. So
divine.
Use Beauty Uncut 10, and that will get you 10% off any branding packages.
Amazing. Wow, yes. That's so lovely. Thank you, Shaye.
That's okay.
Thank
that one is only valid until the financial year. So
get on it, girlfriends.
1st of June? Is that it?
No, 1st of July.
1st of July. So 30th of June. So that will be valid until, but you can book in advance for throughout the year if you're not ready right now. But it's definitely an investment you definitely need to make, and do it right from the beginning.
Yeah. She'll make you sign a contract as well, guys.
Yeah.
So
respond to her.
Oh, it's been
otherwise
so...
you get bumps.
Yeah, you get bumps. Oh, well, yes, we're naughty girls.
But thank you from the bottom of our heart for
we appreciate and love you so much. So
and hope you have fun editing this whole thing.
Have fun doing this.
I'm going to have a great time
The
with
bloopers
this
will be real. She'll stitch us up in this one, so I can see it now.
We love you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening.
Bye. Make sure to be supporting us on the podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. If you want to stay up to date, make sure you hit that subscribe button and keep up with every episode. Thank you for watching.